guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin. Priscilla here with another episode of Moz in the Scratic. That is a scrap busting ephemera making challenge hosted by me, Priscilla, at Release the Craftin. And today, what day is it? It is Snippet Day. Snippet Day. We're day 15. We're almost halfway. Like, we're halfway, but like a fraction off, a half off, because it's 31 days. So midday will be half day. Half day. Oh my god, halfway. Words are really hard. Through the challenge and things and stuff. Are you guys excited? I am still excited. I've seen so many good things. Everybody's getting like nice and grungy and delicious, which I think is fantastic, because that's how I know you guys are digging in your scratic, because it's coming out like ucky yucky, but the delicious kind of ucky yucky. And so yeah, I'm loving it. Today though is not gonna be that grungy because I am tired. I am tired. I actually was gonna go lay down because I just finished recording another video, but then I started pulling all this stuff out to be like, this is what we're gonna do. Don't forget, make sure you get all this together so that you're ready when you go to film the next video. But then I was like, I just kind of want to put it together though. I just want to make it happen. So here we are. So as you can see, I have already been preparing for this video. Unlike the other videos where I'm like, I'll figure it out as I go along. I have a general idea. This one, I already know what I want to do. What I will say is because I was like, you cannot make clusters and tags every single day, determined that I was going to make a pouch for this one, whether or not that's what form my snippet was going to take. It was going to have to go on this pouch. And as you can see, it's not an assembled pouch. I was in the process of deciding if I should assemble it or not. But I wanted to tell you guys before I did that I have this die, which I will not recommend and will not link in the comments. As you can see, it is missing the top because I cut it off. Here it is. It's right here. Because I went to go use this die. I was so excited to have like a ready-made little envelope thing here. Yeah. This is it's like exactly this much too big. I cut this off with my jewelry tools, which I'll probably regret at some point, but the top of this will not fit into my cutting machine, and I have the big one. I don't have the big one, but I got the big one, you know what I mean? So when I bought this, I was like, okay, great, and then I laid it down on my thing, and then it wouldn't go through, and then I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. You should have seen this coming. So I cut it off. So I've had to, you know, cut the tops myself. That wasn't a big deal. Now it's a usable die. Otherwise, it would have just sat there until it rusted and decayed 1,000 years from now. I don't know how long it takes for metal to break down. But yeah, if you ever find yourself in that situation, I guess you could say you could cut your die. It works, but it also came with like a chip in it. On what side? This side. There's a big old like dent right here. So I also have to cut that part manually. Still the first worldiest of first world problems. But I just wanted to say that, and then show you guys what kind of barbarian I am when it comes to my things. Because I didn't care about preserving the sanctity of this pouch, only using it, so I cut it into pieces. I will also say that the measurements for this are like so 1 for 1, like so exact, that like it makes a great pouch, but if you try to do like the bottom up like we like to do, it makes it all bow out, and then you can't close the top without that little bit. So you have to do it all on the inside. So I'm looking for my circle punch, which I was apparently hanging stuff from. Okay. Okay, forget about that. That wasn't important. I am going to cut a little thumb notch in these because, like I said, they're so exact that trying to get stuff out of there will make people cry. So, little thumb notch. Is that center? Doesn't matter. I should probably ink it before I get glue happy. But yeah, I just thought you guys should know that I am a barbarian. I don't know what you'd say. All rights and trademarks considered. Because I'll be damned if I buy something and I can't use it. Because I used everything else in the set. Came with a bunch of labels and stuff like that too. I don't like being told what to do by my art supplies. But also, it wouldn't have been a workable tool. It would have just been a waste, which is unfortunate and not desirable. So, for my idea for snippets, I did think, like, oh, you could make a snippet roll with all of your various piles of junk lace and stuff that you have a bunch of scraps of. But then, I looked at my scraps, and I had a bunch of black, and then I ran it through the little film strip die, because film strip is black, and then was like, but these are now snippets of film. Therefore, ergo, that's what we are doing today, is making little film snippets. Which is not what I thought I was going to do, and I still am not going to make a dent in that lace. So, you know, one day, eventually, I never need to buy lace again. I feel like I have enough lace to last the entirety of my crafting career, and then someone else's, which is wild, because it's not even a fraction of what April at Pink Oddbird has, but April is my lace supplier, or she was for a little bit there, because she would ask me if I needed anything, and I'd be like, oh, send me some lace, and then she would send me, like, a bucket load, which, like, thank goodness for crafty friends, but, like, also, what? But she has so much lace. She has buckets and buckets, because I don't know if you guys know, April is also at Odd Flock Finds on Instagram, and she's like a thrifting guru, although on Odd Flock Finds she does mostly clothes and like fancy antique things, but mostly clothes. But while she's thrifting, she always finds like the coolest stuff, but that's how she found all this lace, was via thrifting. So she has buckets and buckets of lace for this express purpose, to send it to me when I run out, which, thanks to her, I will never run out. But I also, because somebody mentioned they didn't have a lot of lace, I also buy a lot of like lace via doll lots, or I did buy when I was buying lace. A lot of lace via doll lots, doll, D-O-L-L space L-O-T-S lots, because they sell their snippets and their scraps in big bulk bags, and that's what I would buy, and then I would just sort it out by color. And I still have a bunch of that left too. So honestly, I didn't really need the lace. What I was lacking was like black lace. That's what I was lacking, and April had it. So now I am not lacking. But I really just gotta like buckle down and use some more. It's just, you know, like when something is not your particular aesthetic, it's very hard to incorporate it into stuff without it feeling like frivolous or like mandatory, like, oh, I gotta put this in here because everybody puts lace in here, that kind of stuff. Like, I like little bits of lace, little pops of lace, little hints of lace. But if you were like, would you like to cover this in lace, my answer would be no. I would like to cover it in fabric. Perhaps, definitely paper, but not as much lace. Okay, and we ink up the rest. So while I was preparing, I did find out that the like small, medium small size of my like daguerreotype printables, which was a freebie on Patreon, also available for individual purchase, shameless self-promotion, fits the frame of this very nicely, these little film strips. So that was a win, because I really didn't know what the focal point was going to be. I had like the thought that I could like collage in a moth or something, or like have a moth like flying out of the film thing, but I was like, I don't feel like called to do that, particularly as I was like getting everything together. So yeah, that worked out to be pretty toys too. So yeah, this is probably going to be one of the more simpler makes I have for this, because like I said, I'm tired. The fatigue is hitting, and yeah, I'm trying not to like push myself on this challenge, but I also just like have this fear that even though I'm ahead as I'm recording this, I will be behind if I don't commit to the bit, you know, if I take too many breaks, which is a personal issue. It's not the truth. But yeah, that's how I feel right now. So I'm like, okay, if you can just squeeze in one more video and then go take a break, like, everything will be fine. So here we are. Which is actually funny because the whole idea was like, go take a break so that you can go do all the stuff, because this is currently Sunday, before I return to work on a Monday, although everything in my body's like, call off just because it's a new year and you can. Not going to, or I might. I don't know how I'm gonna feel tomorrow, but it's honestly just because like we accrue our PTO, so like when I see that balance like get loaded, I'm like, all right, time to go, time to be at home, give me my day and I will be in bed because I have earned it. But also like we're coming back from like holidays and having all this other PTO and all these other days off, and I don't want to go back to a full work week of people demanding my attention and needing me for things. But yeah, so like it's Sunday, so I should be taking a break so that I can then go and like meal prep and do all the stuff I need to do for the week. And I have a feeling that that is not going to happen. That I'm going to lay down and then just cease to exist. I'm going to cease to exist until I get hungry. And then I will get up and make some food and then hate myself for laying down in the first place, because it meant that I took all the energy I had to be upright to bed and left it there for the next day, which is also not a big deal though. Like, I try not to beat myself up for that kind of stuff because like I've been dealing with chronic fatigue for a couple of years now, and yeah, sometimes you just don't have the energy, or you hit that wall and like, what are you gonna do? Push through and make yourself sick? I'm gonna cut this little guy off because it doesn't matter for what I have planned. And also inking that, just, it's not gonna go well. But yeah, like, there's really no sense to me to like beat myself up too much for not having the energy to do things. Like, I have a certain amount of spoons, you know, for the day, and once they run out, they're out, and it all comes down to budgeting and choosing like what to do. And my priority in my life is to always choose what brings me the most joy. So if it means that I have to meal prep tomorrow instead of today, then like, so be it. I love crafting, so I would rather choose that over everything else, obviously, but like not to the point where it's like to my own detriment and, you know, like struggling with my life, but like a little bit. Not like a struggle, but like, you know, I want to like enjoy my life a little bit too, in between all of the frequent napping. So I guess it's hard because so much of this will show through. So what can I do? I can stick it in here like this, or try to fussy cut it so that it only fits on this little bar. Or I could just pop it in here and then color in the circles with white Posca paint so that it goes back to being white. That is also an option. Okay. Nobody's going to see the back, so I'm not worried about that. Going for the easiest route here. Yeah, that's not the easiest route. That's the biggest mess. I'm just going to trim this off. Although, I will say, having said all of that very long-winded thing, is that I could very, very possibly finish this video, go lay down for a second, and then have energy when I get back up again. That is also a possibility. So I'm not going to rule myself out as a lost cause just yet. Oh, see, I didn't consider that. Okay, it'll have to do, pig. That's crooked. well, I didn't consider that if you trim the sides off, it won't have the same amount of reach the other one does. It's okay. We'll work with it. I'm not going to stress about it. All right. If anything, I can just stick a little bit of white paper behind it to emulate the effect, which is probably what I will do. So while I'm thinking about it, I don't want to have all these little bits of white paper. Let's do that. Or, hold on. I just cut it to fit. I don't even have to use my paint marker. Okay, all right. How? I just need some strips, and it's like 1/4 of an inch. Yeah? Yeah. So cut some 1/4 inch strips. Problem solved. Look at that. Using our brain even when we're tired. Okay. Feeling very proud of myself. You know, like when you think like your brain is done and then it just surprises you? Just me? Perhaps. How many do we need? 6? Where am I at? Okay. So, just gonna glue the back side and stick it down. Not on the fold. Perfect. More perfect if it's even. All right. Here I thought I was going to make a bunch of work for myself. I've been finding that, like, through this process, that I'm like, oh, this is such a good idea and such a fun thing to do. And then I'm like, why did you make it so dang difficult? So, like, that's my kryptonite, I guess, at this point, is either making it too difficult or, like, you know, by going about things the hard way, or by, just making it too fussy. Because I've been like really enjoying adding all these little fine details and stuff, and I'm like, you have to move on. You have so many videos to make. Which, like, definitely, I'm glad that I'm only doing like a week-long thing in February because I am tired. And we're halfway through. So, yeah, I'm gonna take a break for sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do for content. Probably some lower energy stuff, but yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Because this is a lot of work. Ephemera is a lot of work. And it's something like I find to be a fairly common sentiment among most of like my crafty friends, especially the ones who do like more intricate things. They're just like, the book was so easy to make, but the ephemera. And I'm like, you know, that's true, because honestly, even when I make like journals and stuff, I can put the book together relatively quickly. I'm a very slow crafter, so quick for me. But then whatchamacallit, when it comes to the ephemera, yeah, that's like months. And so making so much ephemera for this challenge is great because I'm using up my scraps, right? Like, I'm happy to get rid of those. I feel like I'm gonna be doing this the whole year though. It just is just a lot. It's a lot of work to make complex ephemera. In a short amount of time. Because this is probably, like, if I was making a journal and not trying to finish a challenge, I would be doing this for 2.5 months. And, you know, taking reasonable amounts of time. I'd also probably be being a lot more fussy, because that's what I do, you know, like when I'm making journals and stuff, is I spend the majority of my time making the ephemera, and then trying to think of like really fun over the top pieces and new things and new ideas and stuff I can add to like spice up my books a little bit, do something different. And then I'm like, okay, well, you've done, you know, pockets before, but how can you make them more interesting? And then it's like, oh, you can make a pop-up pocket, or you can make it like a triple layered secret flip flap floppy doodle like pocket. And that's what I spend most of my time doing. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I can hear you. A regular film strip would be like empty here because this is the part that like grabs onto the reel, but I want it to be white. That is intentional. Of course, it is very bright white, which is not going to work. We are going to age it down, so don't worry. And I'm not gonna glue this shut because I have acetate to stick in here. What are you doing? Just ready to go. I do want it to be shiny, which means I need to distress it before. What are you doing? My brain really said, okay, good night. I think once I acknowledged that I was tired, my brain was like, all right, setting up shutdown protocols. And so at this point in time, I should be watching something unintelligibly stupid on the internet and just vegetating. Maybe playing some games on my phone or something. And so my brain's like, what? I already gave you one good idea. What else do you want from me? And the answer is the world. Or, you know, enough energy to finish this video in like a reasonable amount of time. Okay, that's much better than the stark white thing we were looking at there. That was just a little bit of tea dye. This is an old tea dye. I got this forever ago. And I don't think I've ever re-inked it, to be fair. Because I don't think I have a tea dye re-inker. Or if I do, I don't keep it on the desk, so I don't use it often. Okay. Now, we acetate. Okay, and I can probably get 2 out of this one. I cut so crooked. That's so bad. I can't even line it up to a side. It's so crooked. That's so crazy. And we need one more piece. And I'm just using my little scraps to acetate here. I save as many of these little pieces because I always know I'm going to do something small and fidgety at some point. I mean, at this size, I tend to let them go, but like, if there's like a couple inches left, into the pile. Although, you can use these to do like floating pop-up stuff, so they're also worth saving if you do a lot of pop-up making. Which maybe I'll do one of those at a future point in time. This is still too wide. But today is not that day. So let's see if we get a good adhesion here. This is the only downside to having little frames and stuff like this is just how hard they are to glue. such a very narrow field to get glue onto. Oh, and then like Belle says, you should use your finger or like a brush to smooth out the glue so it doesn't seep under your thing because it's gonna slide on the acetate. I don't care. I mean, like, I care, but like not enough to dedicate a brush to it. But if you don't want to deal with it possibly seeping over, then that would be the solution. Okay, just repeat. Although I did conclude that these were too wide and still didn't cut the rest down. So okay. What else could I talk about? I was thinking I like to pick my favorite movie for like the year that has passed. I know we're 15 days into the year, but it, you know, I'm still reflecting on last year a little bit, and like this was a tough one because there was not a lot of movies that I genuinely liked. There was just 2 that I really liked above all else. To the point where like I have rewatched them several times since then, and I just genuinely enjoy them, and we'll get into long conversations about them, and have like done the lore deep dives and everything that I like to do, which is the Superman movie and Sinners. And I cannot decide which one I like more. They both have individual merit. I will go ahead and say this off the top before people come for me. Sinners was objectively a better film. It's a better quality, better story, all the things, right? But there is something just so delightfully, like, hopeful and nostalgic about the Superman movie that just really stuck with me. You know, it's like, especially when you're a big nerd like me, getting to see, like, your heroes, literally, your superheroes, portrayed correctly in a way that, like, just feels right, makes a big difference. Because like a lot of the times when you were, especially in like to comic books and stuff like that, less so Star Wars type stuff, but it's sort of in the same realm. But a lot of times when you're in those like fandoms, and then you finally get to see like your favorite things, your favorite characters on screen, if they're not depicted correctly, then you're like, oh. You know, like, it's so sad, it's so bittersweet to be like, okay, well, I mean, I wanted to see them, and now I'm finally seeing them, but my heart hurts because it's not exactly what I want, but this is what I got, so I'll take it. It's better than nothing. You know, to finally see them, like, portrayed accurately is, like, such a blessing. And this was probably my most favorite portrayal of Superman. I think that they just really got Superman down right, and I'm not even that big of a Superman fan, to be honest. It's not my favorite DC character. Those would be like Wonder Woman, Supergirl, and The Flash. But because I love Supergirl, I read a lot of her comics, I follow what's going on with Superman because obviously they're related, so their stories and paths do cross a fair bit in her comic book. So at any rate, yeah, like, it's just something about the Superman movie, like, caught me in the feels at the right time, and even now when I watch it, I still feel that, like, sense of hope that, like, Superman is supposed to bring you. That's, like, his whole thing in the comics. He's the symbol of hope, and, like, I think because my lesson at the end of the year, basically, by the time I got to the end of the year, was that I needed to continue to hold on to hope and spread it. So I think that's why, like, Superman just sits just a slight bit higher on the rung than Sinners is to me. I love Sinners. I love vampire movies. I love that we're having like this vampire movie renaissance where we're getting good quality like vampire flicks again, and I cannot wait until that spreads out to the other movie monsters because they really just deserve a better turn than what we've gotten in the last like 10-15 years. And And Sinners was it. Nosferatu was my movie of the year for 2024. Like, oh, I love that movie so much. So, like, when I saw Sinners, I was like, yes, I'm having the time of my life, right? But as much as I love it, as much as I am willing to dedicate hours and hours waxing philosophic about every single freaking shot and screen, it just doesn't resonate emotionally the same way that Superman did. And I think that's why Superman is going to be my movie for the year of 2025. But let me know if you guys have seen it, what you think about it. What am I doing next? Oh, I want to do just a tiny bit of embossing just to give them a little something something, you know what I mean? Like, this is a postcard one. I want a script stamp. Oh, this one's got plants on it. Hold on, I have more script stamps. Actually, yes, yes. This one has a little tiny music stamp of some music. I don't know if you guys can see. So that would be a snippet of music. Yes. I don't know what it is, but it is like one of my favorite things to get like more interpretations out of a prompt than one. Now, the only thing is I don't music, so I'm hoping that this is the right direction. It feels like in my heart it is, but the last time I thought that, everybody came and told me that I was wrong, and it was the wrong direction, and I was like, I don't know. I don't do a music. Not to say I've never played an instrument or anything, but I've just never learned how to read music. So all of that is in my brain by feels. But a snippet of music. Okay, and then I'm sort of questioning if I want to add that embossing to the background too, or not. And if it's a yes, should I just do it all right now? But I don't know yet, so one step at a time, I guess, until we figure it out. I guess we'll use our vintagey mix, which is just the silver and gold. I don't know what else. What else? I already know that my album for last year. Look at this shenanigans. My album for last year is going to be the Florence and the Machine album because I listened to it an inordinate amount of time. I know so because my YouTube, like roundup, my YouTube music roundup was like, you are in the top 0.2% of Florence and the Machine listeners, and you listened to this album nonstop. It was your top album of the year, and I was like, you right. So yeah. I can't even like deny that this is my album of the year because I listened to it so much that I became the top 0.2%. It's like 0.02, I think, too. It's a ridiculous number. I have a badge on my page and everything. That's how much I've listened to it. So brace your ears because, yeah. I will say I'm going to heat up this acetate. We're going to emboss on acetate, and to do so, I'm going to make sure that it's hot before I get over here. And then I'm going to make sure that I keep it moving, that I don't hover too long, and that I stay a little distance away farther normally than I would, so that I don't warp my acetate. Those are my tips and tricks for embossing acetate. So I'm just waiting till it heats up and gets like hot, hot, hot. keep moving because we don't want it to like linger too long. I'm sorry I'm not loud enough to shout over this. Okay, so that came out great. Oh, you guys can't see it so far. Wait, and my light, I moved it out of my eyes earlier. So yeah, that came out great. You guys can tell me if it's wrong, the music note orientation, but it's not going to change anything. It's this way now forever. Oh, I stuck my, whatchamacallit, directly onto there and it was still hot. Okay, not a big deal. The smudge is distressing. Yeah, totally intentional. So here's my thought process, right? I have a moth. I'm gonna stick it down. I'm gonna stick this down. I might get a little cheesecloth back there too. But now that I'm looking at it, I think it does need to be embossed. Because like I don't want to spend a lot of time like collaging or anything. I think a collage on the background would look good too. You know, I could put like a piece of paper or something back there, a little book page or something. But I don't want to because this is supposed to be fast and we're 36 minutes in. So we're going to emboss some more. I think that's going to make me feel better. And sort of tie in that gold from the front to the back. So I'm going to use this little tiny script guy. And we'll get a snippet of, I don't know what this is. I didn't read what it said. I just grabbed it up, a snippet of poetry. Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. So it's literally just a snippet of words repeated over and over again. Okay. Sure. Whatever you say, boss. I'm just working in threes because that is a design principle. Because that looks visually appealing to the eye. I found more of that brick paper, which is so nice. All right. In its place. I might want to come ink along those edges just to catch the little bits of white. You didn't close. Not that I think it matters. It's not like it's a pouch or anything, you know, like I'm not trying to hold anything in there. But I would like it if it looked like it belonged together. Okay. Let's make a mess. That's so interesting. I wonder if it's even going to show up because I can't see it. There's something about this paper. It's coming from like a scrapbook or something, but it acts different than most paper does. So it did catch. Like it glues different. Everything is different about this paper. So I don't know if it's like whatever finish is on it. Like it's got like a special top coat or something. But it does act weird. Not impossible, but just weird. But yeah, no, I can't see the Versamark watermark anywhere. It's not a very effective watermark at that point. You know, I was gonna say, like, this is the best thing I ate last year, like, something noteworthy, but I didn't actually go hardly anywhere last year. So there's not a lot of things that I would even say were, like, memorable. as far as like food goes, which is surprising because usually I try new restaurants and stuff, but I didn't really do that last year. Gonna have to rectify that this year for sure, because I would like to come tell you guys about cool food places, or at least like a good meal I had or something, you know. Like I can't think of anything that I'm like, oh, well, this was so delicious and delightful. All right, brace your ears again. Alright, so we have a snippet of script to go with our things, and we're just going to get some moss down, the lid back on this, because I'm definitely going to be mad if I spill it. Okay, that feels off-center, but this glue dries so fast. Okay, yeah, so you guys tell me if you've had any notable eats last year that you love to share, or like a new recipe or something you tried maybe that was really good, because maybe I'll add it to my list of things to try this year so that I can tell you guys all about it. Ugh. Crooked. Why so crooked? Oh, you know when I said I was going to add a little bit of cheesecloth and then just went, so maybe I'll add it between the frame and the moth. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Why are all these like an optical illusion when it comes to sticking them down? I don't understand. Okay, get a little cheesecloth scraps here. You know, like I'm thinking. Although, yeah, because I don't want to cover up the wings, so vertical seems to be the way. Unravel this somehow. Where's the beginning? Let's see. What else? I just had it in my brain too that I was like, oh, this would also be a snippet if you did it. And now I don't know. Oh, this cheesecloth is so sneaky. Snippet of cloth. It's definitely a bigger piece than the rest. I'll work on that in a second. Gonna use the heavy duty stuff after we ink up the edges. I don't know, I can see the white part. And it might just be me. But just in case. Oh, it was going to be a word snippet. A word snippet. That's what it was. I remember. I was really racking my brain right there, guys. So maybe we're not completely cooked. I love this. This is actually, I think this is Frederick Douglass. Got a bunch of these cool images, so I'm so excited to use them. Okay, yes, I love this. I love it. It has a nice scrappiness without being a lot of work, which I appreciate. Oh, squeezing is so hard. I'm trying my hardest, and barely anything's coming out. Oh, man. One day I'll get fixed, and then I'll be, like, moving 1,000 miles a second. You guys are gonna be like, whoa, who's this speed racer we've never seen before? Okay, yeah, that's much better. It's almost like the antennas. It doesn't help too, I think my Fabri-Tac is getting to that point where, like, I probably need to go mix in some acetone and thin it back out again. But I don't want to play mad scientist right now. When I see you not sticking, I'm coming back for you, don't worry. Oh no. Stuck. I'm actually not going to cut that off. Ugh, okay, so the question is, does it need a word? And part of my heart says yes, because we love words here. The other part of my heart says, I like it like this. So, I was going to stamp out a word on a scrap piece of paper to use up another scrap, but I just want to see what it looks like with a word snippet before I commit to adding any words. Oh, learning to fly is so perfect. Okay, yeah. Yes. Yes. Oh, just like right there. Beautiful. Wonderful. Well, that saves me from having to stamp out a word individually, which means I should probably try making a little snippet strip thing for a different prompt. Because I keep thinking about it. Those little, like, you know, like the little strips with the paper, and then you put like a bold pin on the end, and then like one of the papers says like a word. I keep thinking about that. And I bet you there's a prompt I could do it for. I will probably forget after I'm done recording, because I doubt I'm going to write it down. So if you don't see me do it, do it. You do it. And then at least somebody will have done it. What else is good? For a nice bold one. The storyteller is good. I like that. She looks like the storyteller. Glue fingers. Okay. Okay. Even. Ish. There we go. And the next one. Ooh, I like these. So, cast characters, challenge the world is a good one. She looks like she could take on the world. What do you think? For tales, travelers and traveling. If they were let to fly away. Ooh, okay. Okay. I like that too. So yeah. Yep. Oh, but I like that better. Okay. Yes, up top. Up top is the way to go. And then we'll be done with this very simple craft that only took you 50 minutes. when you told yourself it was gonna be 20. Ooh, I like that. I like it. I love it. At some point I have to think about what goes inside of these. Make them a little card or something. But for right now, delightful. So let's get closer. But let me also put the pin back in my glue before I forget and lose it and do all the tragedies. Alright, now. Alright. So that's how these came out. Our little snippet envelopes. Pouches. Things. I actually really love these. I love it. It's giving like assemblage piece without actually being like a big old assemblage. Which like I used to do more. I should get back into that this year. At least do like 1 or 2 of them with you guys. That would be fun. But yeah, I love this. These are so fun. And I love all our little snippet callbacks, our little callbacks to the prompt. I love how straightforward these are. They weren't overly complicated, even though I think my need to emboss everything maybe made them a little bit overly complicated. And I might come back and like add some grungy stamping or whatever, but I really just like them as is. If I feel like they need to be grungier, I'll come back and grunge them up. But otherwise, like, yeah, I kind of love that. What I might do is add some splatters. I might cover this up and add some splatters on it. I think that's what it needs. That would be the final finishing touch. So I'm going to do that off camera. And then, yeah. It'll be in the thumbnail when you're watching. But otherwise, great job, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Happy crafting. Come back and see what other stuff I knock over on my desk tomorrow. And I will catch you guys all in the next one. Until then, check out the hashtag Moz and the Scratic. See what everybody else is doing. Happy crafting. I appreciate your faces. And goodbye.